He was arrested nearly 30 times, received constant death threats, and was eventually assassinated for what he believed in. But he never raised a fist, never fired a shot, and still, he changed a nation. This is the incredible story of the man who had a dream and dared to make it real. Martin Luther King Jr., the man who dared to dream, spoke with unmatched conviction, and led a peaceful revolution that changed the course of American history. But behind the iconic speeches and marches, who was the man they called MLK? Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia. He was originally named Michael King, but his father, a Baptist pastor, changed both their names to Martin Luther in honor of the German Protestant reformer. His parents, Rev. Martin Luther King Sr. and Alberta Williams King, were both deeply religious and active in their church and community. Growing up in the segregated South, young Martin was exposed early to the harsh realities of racism, but his parents taught him to be proud, respectful, and hopeful. King had an older sister, Christine, and a younger brother, A. King. He was an intelligent child and skipped both the 9th and 12th grades, entering Morehouse College at just 15 years old. At Morehouse, he studied sociology and was influenced by college president Benjamin Mays, a strong advocate for racial equality. He later attended Crozer Theological Seminary in Pennsylvania, where he graduated as class valedictorian. But his academic journey didn't stop there. King earned his Ph. in systematic theology from Boston University in 1955, becoming Dr. King. It was during his time in Boston that he met Coretta Scott, a talented singer and activist. They married in 1953 and had 4 children together, Yolanda, Martin III, Dexter, and Bernice. King's true calling emerged in 1955, when Rosa Parks was arrested for refusing to give up her seat on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama. At just 26 years old, King was chosen to lead the Montgomery Bus Boycott, a nonviolent protest that lasted over a year and ended with a major victory against segregation. This launched him into national prominence and marked the beginning of his leadership in the American Civil Rights Movement. In 1963, King delivered his most famous speech, "I Have a Dream," on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial during the March on Washington, which drew over 250,000 people. His words weren't just moving, they were revolutionary. He spoke of a world where people would be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. That dream would echo around the world. In 1963, on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., Martin Luther King Jr. stood before more than 250,000 people and delivered one of the greatest speeches in history, "I Have a Dream." His voice rang out with power, hope, and truth. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. He dreamed of unity in a divided land. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. He dreamed of a better future for his own children. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. But even as he called for change, King refused to answer hate with hate. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. In the face of fear and division, he preached hope. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. He called for action, not tomorrow, but now. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice. And as his voice reached its powerful conclusion, he thundered the words that still echo around the world. Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. In 1964, King was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, becoming the youngest recipient at that time. But his mission wasn't without danger. He was arrested numerous times, attacked, and constantly threatened. On April 4, 1968, while standing on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee, Dr. King was assassinated. He was only 39 years old. His death shocked the world, but his legacy lived on. Today, Martin Luther King Jr. is remembered as one of the greatest voices for justice in modern history. His birthday is now honored as a national holiday in the United States. Streets, schools, and memorials bear his name. Through his powerful words and peaceful actions, MLK proved that change is possible, even in the face of overwhelming resistance. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't just dream, he acted. And in doing so, he changed the world. His life reminds us that one voice, driven by truth and courage, can move millions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you were inspired by the story of Martin Luther King Jr. Follow Legends Encyclopedia for more true stories of people who shaped history.